The moment Liv Golf burst onto the scene, it sparked a firestorm that continues to rage across professional golf. The PGA Tours and Liv aren't just competing. They're locked in a bitter feud that's moved from the fairways straight into the courtroom. Both organizations are battling for control of the sport, and the legal warfare is getting intense. Asterisk. If you're hungry for the untold stories and behind-the-scenes drama that's reshaping golf, hit that subscribe button for Golf Mode TV. We deliver the inside scoop every single week. Asterisk recently. Liv Golf absorbed a devastating blow in this ongoing legal war. Setback that shifted the entire momentum of their operation. Stay with us as we dissect exactly what happened, why it matters so much, and how this court decision flips the pressure cooker on its head. Asterisk, is this PGA Liv showdown destined to drag on forever? Or are we finally seeing the beginning of the end? Right now, every filing and ruling carries massive weight. The fireworks started back in 2019, when rumors surfaced about a new tour planning to directly challenge the PGA Tour's dominance. Things escalated quickly. Initially pitched as the Super Golf Liga name that barely registered with most fans, the concept immediately drew fire from PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan. He made his position crystal clear. Any professional golfer who joined a rival league would face immediate suspension from all PGA Tour events. No compromise. No middle ground. Asterisk. Fast forward to 2020. And the Premier Golf League entered serious negotiations with Saudi investors about potential partnerships. But the Saudis had different ambitions. They weren't interested in partnering. They wanted complete autonomy. Their vision was a brand new professional league, offering bigger paychecks and fewer grueling tournament weeks. Asterisk, recognizing the existential threat. The PGA Tour and European Tour quickly formed a strategic alliance. They pooled resources, shared scheduling strategies, and coordinated prize structures to maintain their grip on professional golf before the landscape shifted beneath their feet. Asterisk. Pressure mounted rapidly in locker rooms worldwide. Players faced difficult choices, and fans watched anxiously as battle lines formed. The PGA Tour recognized that a well-funded franchise was dangling lucrative offers in front of their top talent. Asterisk, by October 2021, the breakaway league officially launched as Liv Golf Investments, installing former major champion Greg Norman as CEO. That appointment made the threat impossible to ignore. Now in 2023, Liv Golf has undeniably made progress. They've hosted multiple high-profile events, and players are collecting the massive paychecks they were promised. The journey has been anything but smooth. Asterisk, the Saudi-backed league has faced relentless negative press coverage, harsh media criticism, and significant public backlash, all compounded by recent court rulings that definitely didn't go their way. Asterisk. This legal battle actually consists of two interconnected cases. Liv Golf filed antitrust claims against the PGA Tour, accusing them of monopolistic practices designed to destroy the new league. The PGA Tour countered with their own allegations, claiming Liv crossed ethical and legal boundaries while recruiting players. Liv listed Saudi Arabia's public investment fund and its governor, Yasir Al Rumayyan, as their sole financial backers. However, PGA lawyers argue there's much more to the story. According to discovery documents obtained by the PGA, both the PIF and Al Rumayyan were allegedly directly involved in recruiting PGA Tour members to defect to 54 Golf. Asterisk. While that might sound like standard business practice, in legal terms it constitutes breach of contract. That's exactly where PGA Tour attorneys have planted their flag. The case launched in 2022, and initially, Liv Golf appeared confident they were holding their ground. That confidence took a serious hit in February 2023, when the presiding judge dismissed both of 54 Golf's lawsuits. Asterisk, even more significantly, the judge ruled that the PGA Tour could officially add Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund and Governor Yasir Al Rumayyan as defendants in the case. This decision dramatically raised the stakes and tightened the legal vice around 54 Golf. Asterisk, that ruling instantly reversed the momentum and put Liv on the defensive. By allowing the PGA Tour to expand the defendant list, the court essentially widened the battlefield. This was no longer just about tour regulations. It transformed into a global legal chess match with massive implications. Asterisk. PGA lawyers gained significant leverage while Liv suddenly had to justify deeper involvement from its financial backers. The move slowed LIV's momentum and raised eyebrows throughout the sport. Sponsors, players, and fans all started paying closer attention because when money, contracts, and power collide in court, nothing remains simple. Asterisk, every court filing now carries enormous weight, and every delay damages credibility. From the PGA Tour's perspective, this represented a clear victory. Their legal team framed the case as evidence that Liv didn't just disrupt the system, they challenged it in ways that violated contractual agreements. That argument resonated powerfully in court. Asterisk, the tour doubled down, signaling their determination to defend their structure regardless of how long the battle takes. Meanwhile, Liv had to pivot strategy, managing court pressure while projecting strength publicly. That balance is precarious. One misstep could frighten away players, partners, or future business opportunities. Everyone in professional golf understands that perception matters almost as much as verdicts. Where does this leave the golf world today? Trapped in limbo, watching two giants refuse to blink. Liv continues hosting tournaments and paying substantial prize money, but the legal shadow looms over every tee shot. The PGA Tour, meanwhile, plays the long game, trusting the courts to preserve their control. This fight has evolved beyond golf schedules and prize purses. It's fundamentally about power, contracts, and who truly controls professional golf. With appeals, countersuits, and future rulings still pending, this battle shows no signs of cooling down. The U.S. District Court ruling from Judge Beth Freeman marked Liv Golf's second major legal defeat in less than a week. The losses accumulated rapidly, back-to-back setbacks landed before the PGA Tour's monopolistic conduct case even advanced. Magistrate Judge Susan Van Coylen ordered Liv and the Public Investment Fund, which owns 93% of Liv Golf, to immediately turn over evidence and records related to the antitrust dispute. Simultaneously, Liv is suing the PGA Tour. Lawyers for the PIF claimed sovereign immunity and signaled their intent to appeal, arguing their investment qualifies under a commercial activity exception in U.S. law. That strategy failed to shut down the proceedings. The dispute remained heated in court. This case centers on LEV's contention that the PIF and Yasser Al-Rumayyan were merely passive investors. The PGA Tour sees things very differently, pointing to discovery documents suggesting they actively recruited players to switch leagues, a move that directly conflicts with existing PGA Tour contracts. That's where the real battle intensifies. This fight hasn't stayed confined to boardrooms with lawyers and executives. Players got dragged into the storm too. Phil Mickelson is one of 11 golfers pushing back against the PGA Tour in a North Carolina court. In another development, Judge Freeman ruled that critical details from the PGA Tour's amended complaint, Liv's contracts and business plans, must remain under seal, keeping potentially explosive information locked away for now. All of this demonstrates how deep the tension truly runs between Liv Golf and the PGA Tour. What began as a flashy rival league has morphed into a full-blown legal standoff involving global money, power plays, and reputations on the line. Every court order increases the pressure, and every leaked detail shifts public opinion rapidly. Liv keeps pushing forward, but the legal drag slows everything down. Meanwhile, the PGA Tour stands firm, confident the system favors stability over disruption. This isn't just golf politics anymore, it's a war over control, influence, and who gets to rewrite the rules of professional golf. As lawsuits pile up, uncertainty spreads through locker rooms and fan communities alike. Players face the difficult choice between loyalty and opportunity, while sponsors quietly monitor every ruling. Asterisk 54's promise of freedom and substantial prize money still resonates. But court pressure constantly buzzes in the background. Conversely, the PGA Tour knows one unfavorable ruling could crack their long-standing grip on the sport. That's why every motion, appeal, and sealed document matters tremendously. Asterisk, the chessboard is set, the clock is ticking. And this showdown feels far from settled as both sides brace for the next major legal development. The judge denied Liv's request to keep details about Saudi involvement. Hidana, significant blow. LIV's antitrust claims depend heavily on denying accusations that massive financial resources were deployed to lure golfers away. But the court determined these overlapping issues weakened Liv's attempt to separate the cases. Asterisk, documents obtained by the PGA Tour in December 2022 paint a more detailed picture. They allege the PIF and Yasser Al-Rumayyan played active roles in modifying contracts and personally approved player deals. According to those filings, they supposedly knew these contracts would conflict with PGA Tour agreements and trigger player suspensions. Asterisk. This raises an important question. Why authorize moves that knowingly invite legal trouble and chaos? This court order connects directly to persistent rumors that Liv Golf wasn't a random business venture, but rather part of a carefully orchestrated initiative linked to Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 program. That suggestion rattled people quickly. Asterisk. While it sounds dramatic, critics note that Yasser Al-Rumayyan maintains close ties to Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's inner circle, which adds fuel to those suspicions. Asterisk, while Greg Norman has always been the visible public face of Liv Golf, insiders suggest the real power resides elsewhere. Multiple reports claim Al-Rumayyan and Majd Al-Saru wielded final decision-making authority behind the scenes, at least until Al-Saru was removed as managing director, shifting control once again. Asterisk, if this proves accurate, it could spell serious trouble for LIV Golf. With allegations that shadow figures were actually directing operations behind closed doors, that kind of structure raises immediate red flags. Liv's legal team is fighting back aggressively, arguing the PGA Tour abused monopoly power to punish players who chose to leave. That accusation strikes at the heart of this entire conflict. Asterisk, their argument centers on the PGA Tour acting as an independent organization while allegedly blocking Live players from major championships it doesn't even fully control. That's the monopoly claim in straightforward terms. Asterisk, PGA lawyers pointed to a direct text exchange between Yasser Al-Rumayyan and 2020 US Open winner Bryson DeChambeau as evidence of deep involvement. In court, that type of evidence carries significant weight. Asterisk. That text message became pivotal because it blurred the line between passive investor and active operator. The PGA Tour leveraged it to argue this wasn't hands-off funding, but direct influence at the executive level. In legal terms, that distinction matters enormously. Asterisk, if decision-makers were personally steering player recruitment, the entire live structure appears different under legal scrutiny. Lawyers examined timing, wording, and intent meticulously. One message suddenly carried heavy weight, implications, and added serious intensity to an already explosive courtroom battle. Asterisk, meanwhile, Liv Golf kept insisting the PGA Tour feared competition and was protecting its territory at all costs. Their camp portrayed the tours as old guard, using rules and pressure to block innovation. Larger payouts, fewer events, and player autonomy were marketed as progress, not disruption. Asterisk, but the court wasn't simply accepting slogans, it demanded evidence. Every claim needed substantiation, and every defense faced rigorous testing. What appeared on television as a golf rivalry transformed into a serious legal grind where emotion means nothing and documentation means everything. Asterisk, at this stage, the case stopped being about who plays where and became a fight over control of professional golf itself. Power, money, and influence collided in one courtroom. Players watched closely, understanding future careers could be shaped by these rulings. Fans argued constantly, divided between tradition and disruption. With additional hearings scheduled and appeals still possible, the tension keeps building. One ruling could tip the balance, rewrite the rulebook, and transform professional golf forever. This saga is complex, messy, and nowhere near finished. If Yasser Al-Rumayyan is truly just an investor, someone needs to explain why he was personally texting one of the league's top recruits, because that doesn't look passive whatsoever. PGA Tour attorney Elliot Peters made that point emphatically during a January hearing, stating, "This isn't what a government does. This is what someone running a golf league does." He essentially called Liv a shell company. Here's where it gets more serious. Any financial gains or losses from LIV flow directly back to the PIF. No intermediaries. Liv Golf has been labeled by critics as sports washing, using sports to improve Saudi Arabia's international reputation. The strategy of directly purchasing players away from the PGA Tour rubbed many people the wrong way. Additionally, there's the very real controversy surrounding Saudi Arabia's alleged human rights violations, which keeps this debate intensely heated. Critics point to a long list of allegations tied to Saudi Arabia, including claims of political repression, forced disappearances, harsh prison conditions, and the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi, a Washington Post contributor. International investigators have linked senior Saudi leadership affiliated with the PIF to his death. That background keeps this case under intense scrutiny and fuels ongoing backlash. Because of this context, the PGA Tour's ultimate position hits hard. They argue Greg Norman is merely the public-facing CEO, while real control resides elsewhere. According to the PGA Live insiders, view Al-Rumayyan as the de facto boss, influencing daily operations in the United States and internationally, even contract approvals. And payments allegedly flow through the PIF, meaning no one receives payment until approval comes from the top. If you're passionate about untold golf, drama, and stories the mainstream headlines don't fully explain, hit that subscribe button for Golf Mode TV. We break it all down every single week. Right now, with Liv Golf absorbing 2 major legal defeats in this case, things are looking shaky for the breakaway league. No sugarcoating necessary. If this breakdown helped you understand what's really happening behind the scenes, tap that like button and stay connected with the channel for more deep dives. Real context and continuous golf controversy updates